Hey guys, I'm back with an update about the custom lesson. So first thing I want to say is that basically everybody who made a request is going to get one. And you may be wondering, it's literally been a month, where's my lesson, man? So I'm going to answer that as honestly as I can because that's just who I am. So I can make about 3 or 4 a week, and there have been about 20 to 25 requests, so if you do the math, it's roughly like going to take 5 or 6 weeks for me to get through all of them, and so I can only do so much. And so again, I appreciate your patience, but for those of you that have been waiting, let me now actually show you what's coming out on the horizon. So as you know, I release a custom lesson every other day because it's just sustainable for me. And the most recent custom lesson was by Mr. Goodcat that you can see above the cursor here. The next ones coming out are for Chang Wong, followed by Abu Bakr Muhammad, Gabriel Merced, Grandmaster 1. I apologize if I butchered any of your names. It's difficult for me. So, yeah, these are the videos that are coming out that I've scheduled, and I've got little bits and pieces that I need to do, such as, say, making thumbnails like this, making sure it's presentable, making sure I've got all the pertinent information there, making sure I'm happy with the quality of these lessons. I watched them many times to see if there's something that I can improve. And of course, that's just going to be difficult when I'm basically a one-man army here. Lessons I worked on this past week, you may see 2 of them. Come on, scroll down. For Tama Yukimura, this was for a channel member, and I actually messed up some pretty important information in her lesson. So I needed to rectify that, and so I did. Other than that, another request I attended to was Lucas Creighton and Bazea, who I know is Basara, so that's what I worked on. But yeah, here I can bring out kind of just like my workflow folders. You can see this is what it's like. Here are my lessons. This is the stuff I worked on this past week, so I had to consider information such as this. Poison. All right, I got to do poison setup, and then how do I address the weakness that poison has because some enemies are immune to it. So, I needed to play around with that. Lucas Creighton gave me a lot of just flexibility. So, fist swords, but pick whatever cores. Keep this guardian spirit, but pick whatever secondary spirits. So, I have a lot to think about when I'm making this. And keep in mind, 3 or 4 a week, and truth be told, is basically 1 a day that I can do. And so it is very difficult because it's not just I plug and play. I mean, it's plug and play for me compared to say others, but I gotta make sure it's something you can actually learn from. So that's why I spend a lot of time in the explanation portions of the video really talking about how to work with the weapon, some combos you can do, how to use the soul cores, and just try to give you some ideas with the whole package. Weapons, soul cores, yokai shift, and all together. And so you'll see me break that down, as well as some RPG aspects. And just, it takes some time for me to get through all of that. And then of course, gotta record it, gotta edit it well enough. Have to have a good showcase of the actual gameplay against a challenging enemy, which is why I picked purple enemies. So all that takes time. But yeah, so it's definitely a lot of fun for me, but it's still a lot of work. Another one that I'm working on. Oh yeah, and then here you can see another one. Tama Yukimura, Shaolin Monk theme, split staff fists, fire lightning, use these guardian spirits, any cores. So I had a lot of freedom. This is actually pretty fun for me to do too, but still it's a lot of work. And then stuff that's coming out in the future that I'll be working on this coming week, you can see here. I know this person has Cryptics from Twitch. And so I've got Fist Odachi, use these soul cores on this spirit, use these soul cores on this spirit. What do I notice right away? I see 2 instances of Impo, and I'm going to replace Impo with something else, so I need to find something to replace, and I got to figure out where to put it. So, a lot to consider for me for that. This one is from a Twitch viewer as well, Daz It Up, and this is one of the more meme fun builds, which basically do all the things that spin. And I actually was already doing this on Twitch, so I don't think this will take me too much time, minus just recording it. Another one is from Dragoon Core, who I've seen request this a few times, and of course I do pay attention to your comments. It's just with all the things I gotta do, it's hard for me to respond to every single thing. So, Fists, Switchglaive, Omnio Magic, Phantom Guardian Spirit, okay. Waifu Soul Cores is a must. Alright. Flashy and fun, okay. And practicality would be a nice bonus. Don't worry, everything is going to be practical. Well, maybe not all the time, but for this I will of course make sure it's practical. So, I showcase stuff like that. Here's another example of a comment. So when I see stuff like this, comment-wise, it can be quite overwhelming for me because I have to basically find the most important information. And I have to consider things just like on the fly, and I'm trying to improve my workflow. So when I look at this, I'm like, all right, A agility, A toughness. I can't work with A toughness. It'll take me too much time to make A toughness setup. All right, so A agility is fine, but if you want to take it to A toughness, I'll at least explain what you can do to get this set up. The hang of katana and tonfa. All right, I know what weapons I'll use. I'll make sure that to the best of my ability, you can use this for any weapon. Guardian Spirits, Feral, Brute or Phantom, okay. Soul Cores, I gotta use these 3, and then I have freedom to do 3 things, and then, hey, some fashion considerations. So I will, of course, get to this, but it's like, all right, I can't be like super speedy, because I like to have a certain workflow. So the format that I like is pretty much what you see here. Weapons, cores, spirits, enemies, and then put whatever walls of text you want after the fact. So I gave like an example of my own format. A good example of a format is basically what you see here. You got the pertinent information and then other considerations that I can at the very least talk about. But just as a reference, I always try to showcase the baseline raw experience for everybody. So it's like it can only get better from here. That's basically what it is. And if you're willing to spend the time to make these crazy loadouts and then do a crazy build on top of that. So if I wanted to use Amino Uzume and Susanoo at the same time, then I could do so, but it would just take me even longer to make this. So to give you a frame of reference, let me actually go back to this folder. If I was to put forth the amount of time, let's say to make, remember the Itsamade guy that came out? And hopefully many of you liked it, and I had like a lot of footage here. How many gigabytes of footage? Yeah, so like 7 gigabytes down here. So I have to go through all this footage and make sure and I can clean it up, make it concise and whatnot. That video took me 3 weeks to make. And I'm trying to basically do a similar task in a day, which is why it's really difficult for me, which is why I appreciate when you're making things very concise. So for me, and hopefully you can understand why my videos may not be like super duper high quality, perfect and whatnot. But yeah, enough about that. Let me showcase some of the things that are coming out on the horizon. Yeah, I haven't made like a thumbnail. I haven't really formatted it too much. Just like, all right, some preliminary things. I still got to check all sorts of things from there. But let me just show you some things that I work with. All right, let's see. Here we go. Here's like an example of me using the White Tiger Soul Core, which was otherwise considered unusable. All right, you may be wondering, who are you gonna fight in this scroll? Well, why don't I just show you? Kukai is purple. And you may notice in some of my videos, oh, can you play, dude? You may notice in some of my videos, I almost refuse to use elixirs, and that is intentional. Again, I try to show, hey, with just these things that I do regularly, I apply it to like every situation. You know, can this actually work, or is it going to be a struggle? So you can see I didn't actually use elixirs. I had to use multiple extraction talismans because the scroll is specifically long. But again, it's just there's a lot of stuff I gotta do in the course of a video. So hopefully that keeps your interest. But speaking of that, I did want to ask some frank questions to you guys. So first and foremost, I actually want to know why my view count is dropping. Whether, and be honest about it. You don't have to just be constructive about it. And it can be, you know, I expect answers such as, I'm just done with Nioh 2. Or maybe I'm thinking maybe it's you don't like stuff in my videos, but I want to know at the very least. If it's something I can do about it, I want to know about it so I can work on it. If I can't do something about it, and there are a few things that I can't, then of course I know about it and it's something I can work towards. But I, truth be told, want to have a much more personalized YouTube community than just like I'm chasing views. Because if I'm going to be perfectly honest, while making money on YouTube is great, chasing money on YouTube is just a slog, and I hate it. I genuinely hate it. I don't want to worry about money stuff whatsoever, and I'm sure no one does. And so when it comes to my content, I want it more personalized. So I want your feedback first and foremost. I do, and I will take it into consideration. So one thing that I would like to do, and that I've you know, I've pitched this before, I've talked about this before, is that I want to hire my buddy again as a full-time editor. He helped me so much with the highlights, which many of you liked, and so I want to continue that as well as get his help with some of my other videos as well, just because I'm pretty much a one-man army. My wife helps me with the thumbnails and they're great, but it's like I basically have to shoulder everything, and so it's very difficult for me to churn out high-quality content on a regular basis and maintain my sanity. So your feedback is valuable, but if you would like to support the channel, I would encourage you to consider joining as a member. But of course, if that's not something you want to do, no pressure. I totally get you're just like, hey, I just want to watch videos. Then yeah, dude, you don't have to pay for it. But of course, it does help when I do have a little bit of assistance in regard to the funding department with memberships, because I don't really care about like mainstream stuff. I really don't. The main reason I'm sticking with Nioh when it's basically like dead, all things considered, is simply because I enjoy it. That's it. That's why I keep streaming it, because I have fun. The moment it feels like, all right, I'm just streaming Nioh to make money and it's just stressful, is the moment I'm going to stop. So I'm only streaming stuff, I'm only making content for stuff that I genuinely enjoy. And so that's all I'm going to do. And I like making the custom lessons because they're fun for me to make. And more than that, I'm trying to show just how diverse this game can be. And it really can be diverse. That is the aim with these lessons, to say, hey, look at all these crazy loadouts that I try to make as individualized and customized for you, so that it's unique and not like the stereotypical, oh, this is what everyone else is doing, this is the meta. But I try to show something unique in situations you may not expect, so that you can think more creatively, because I'm trying to give that whole sense of creativity and excitement to you guys, because that's what actually keeps me going with Nioh. When it's like, dude, it always feels fresh with so many different possibilities. And wait, this game cost how much? Only $50? What the crap? You know, I've played games like Path of Exile with their builds and stuff, and it just feels like after a while you're pigeonholed into one specific way to play. And if you want to try something new, you basically have to make a new character, and you basically got to get these specific things, and you have to know exactly what you're doing. And so that can be really taxing. And so, you know, for someone like my wife, and I actually did consider this when I started the custom lessons, I was like, how would my wife like to play Nioh, assuming she was interested? And like, well, she'd like to be able to trade different things out and have a fresh experience every time and still feel really powerful and kick ass. And so that's what I've tried to show with the custom lessons, whether it be fighting purple enemies, doing Scrolls of the Damned, or otherwise really challenging things, and taking your requests so that you can enjoy the game in the same way that I've had, if not in a greater way. But yeah, that's pretty much the aim. And then just last thing, when it comes to long-term stuff, I am just going to continue sticking with stuff I enjoy. So Nioh 2 is on the horizon for a while. I might switch to Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, simply because it's a Team Ninja title, and I have a lot of faith in the work that they do. I mean, Nioh 2 has freaking knocked it out of the park for me. I mean, I'm playing it when no one else is really playing it. It's like, ooh, who's on Twitch streaming Nioh 2? Me. I have like 90% of the views. I'm like, okay, well, 90% concerning that like there's maybe 50 people watching really isn't that good of a sign for Nioh. But yeah, I enjoy it, and I don't really care about the view count. I just have fun with it. So I'm gonna stick with it, irrespective of the finances and whatnot. It's too good for me to pass up. So I'll stick with it. And I hope you guys do too. But for sure, leave comments about whatever could be done to improve the lessons so that you may want to watch them some more. Also, just feedbacks in general for the channel, things that I can at least mess around with. If you want to become a member to help financially support the channel, that is always greatly appreciated, and I will of course give things in return depending upon your tier. And then for some reason I'm blanking out. What was I gonna say? I have no clue. You guys want to see Kukai get beat again? Let's do that while I try to remember. Alright, here we go. Let's go back. What's up? Reverse impact into Ryomen didn't do much. Let's blow this up. Yeah, okay. Very nice. I know everybody hates Kukai, right? And yet here I am beating him. And remember, I used White Tiger earlier on, so it was definitely a lot of fun. And then stylish finish once again, right? Very nice. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's just Holy cow, my tiger, that's for real. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know what else I want to say. Oh, yes! God, how can I forget that? This is a good place for you to make a request for the custom lessons. So, now is basically the second batch of requests. I'm still finishing up the first one, but at least if you put in the comments below, so like I said, let me bring out the format once again. Where are we at? Alright, I will get it up right now. So, tell me what you want for your custom lesson with the following format. The weapons you want seen, the cores you want to try, the spirits you're considering, and then an enemy of choice. And I will tackle that. And then anything else you want to say, whether it be build considerations and whatnot, go ahead and put those walls of text afterwards. Alright? Fine by me. And I think that's good for the video, right? Nearly 16 minutes. I'm just gonna be whatever. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support. I do appreciate your company and of course just having you guys. You guys do keep this fun, and the most enjoyable part about making these videos, period, aside from like, ooh, hey, I get to try new stuff, is that I'm able to impart that sense of wonder to you guys. Because if it was just for me, I'm done with Nioh personally, like for me. But what keeps me going is that I'm able to show Nioh 2 in such a diverse fashion and an exciting light to you guys. So I specifically want to make sure you're enjoying the content. So definitely let me know what you'd like to see, and I will do my best to make it happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys next time.